The good news for the black man is that he is on the verge of recapturing his position as ruler of the universe. The bad news for the white man is that his long and wicked reign will shortly be over.
Nigeria is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. Where in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered. So this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust theme, but these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe. So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute, so the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African American community here, which makes sense to me why they're all being like, we have an Israelite affinity, where we're identifying, this is us, we are this. And so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people are in them, they have a valid claim to feel and say that.
I'm sure Harry can give you the information as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just found it so fascinating when I learned that the largest group in Africa that claims to be from the people of Israel is the Igbo tribe, made up a significant percentage of the transatlantic slave trade.
Sure.
And now you see a large growing movement in America, the descendants of this slave trade, who are taking upon an Israelite identity among themselves. So some people may say, hey, these guys are crazy. Who do they think they are pretending they're Israel? I look at it and say, what? There's no smoke without a fire. Look where they came from.
Sure.
These people came from the Israelites of Africa. So now, not only do I expect there to be a greater return, I expect there to be a link that's going to get made between Israel of Africa and the Israel of America, that they're going to unite and lock arms.
There's a phenomenon happening where a lot of people of color, not just in America, in the Caribbean, in South America, wherever the slave trade went to, they're waking up to their identity. This is a real thing. It's a phenomenon. We have to address it. But when they're coming to other Jews and saying, my brother, I finally found out who I am. Come, let's unite together. Then most Jews who've never heard this idea, and because a lot of them were raised in Europe, so have a lot of European mentality, then start saying, there's no way you're Jewish. You're black or you're African. We've never heard of such a thing. So go away. Now, to a person that's really hurt and has been hurt for hundreds of years and has generational trauma in their DNA passed down to them, they're like, if they were really Hebrews, they would accept me. If you look at a lot of the names during the slave trade, a lot of them had Jewish names when they were brought to this country, and then their names were erased and changed into something else.
I understand that in a few generations from now, people that look like me will serve your tribe.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know we have differences.
Right, okay.
We have differences, but I see that. And I just want to ask you guys politely to not be as oppressive as we were. That's all I ask.
Whenever we have the rule.
You're right.
We're ruling over you.
That's
right?
right.
Okay. Not to be oppressive as you were with us, as you see
now,
what
the
y'all
thing
done.
is, if you guys are, I don't fucking blame you.
Noticing that you're kind of hanging out a lot with Kyle lately. Is there a problem with that? No, I think it's amazing. It's awesome that someone like you could be okay with someone like him, given all the new information lately. You know the stuff that's come out about how the Jews stole the black race's identity? You know the stuff that's come out about how the Jews stole the black race's identity? That the lost tribes of Judah were actually all Africans? You didn't hear about this? Black people are actually the Jews and people like Kyle have taken that from them? Stop talking to me. When the Jews came to America to escape...
Shalom, shalom, family. Shalom. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be kind of a lengthy lesson. Y'all see the title, Demons Can Fall in Love with You. Hold on just a second. I see you trying to get in too. But yeah, it's just saying your device is not connected. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I pray that brothers and sisters get a good understanding with this lesson. And ultimately, the highest hope is that brothers and sisters see their wrongdoings, their faults, and they change their ways. They repent and turn back to the Most High God. So I'm going to go ahead and open up. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. So like I said, we're going to jump right into it. See the title of the lesson, Demons Can Fall in Love with You. Let me get this, Zion, before you get into Tobit, I want to get this precept, 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9 through 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 9 through 11. It says, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? But be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. And such were some of you. So I wanted to pull this out because a lot of us fall into this situation. A lot of us fall into the situation to where we have attacks, whether it be demon, whether it be our own selfishness, pride, whatever it is. We have to make sure that we understand that we have to have mercy and show patience when it comes to our people. Always. We always have to show mercy and patience when it comes to our people, because we were in these situations. We were in these shoes as well. Shalom, brother. Shalom, brother from Texas. Shalom. So that's the opening scripture I definitely wanted brothers and sisters to see, because we all fall into this category. But we're going to get into it. Demons can fall in love with you. I know this is not a normal title. It's not a normal, it's not going to be a normal lesson in anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be, Lord willing, this is going to be a good lesson for brothers and sisters to understand the consequences of your actions. What you do, demons will be attached to you, and they can fall in love with you. A lot of these scriptures you're going to hear, you've heard it before, but we're going to give a little bit more understanding on it, Lord willing. So let me get, as a matter of fact, I wanted to go ahead and start out with this precept. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 20. Revelations chapter 3, verse 20 and 21. It says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh, I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. So the Most High God, or Yahushua, is saying that he comes to the door and knock. What is that door? What is that door? So I want to show y'all the spirit. Our spirit is in our mind. Our spirit is in our mind. And this is the door that he's knocking on, right? And I'm going to show this real quick. Give me just 1 second. Where was I at? Here it is. No. Where was I at? This one. Oh, there it is. All right. Go check this out. Let me make sure everything is copacetic. Everything is good and on the up and up. All right. So the spirit is at the door. So you see Revelations chapter 3 and verse 20, right? But I stand at the door and knock. That door he's talking about is the spirit. It's your mind. Your spirit is in your mind. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. So we're going to get down to where you see the door in the blue letter, G2374. G2374. So we'll switch it over to this. Make sure it's on. So we go down to Strong's definition, and it says a portal or entrance. That is the door. Your mind is a portal. Your mind is an entrance. This is why you got to be careful on what you see, what you hear, because your mind is the door that Christ is knocking on, and it is a portal. spirits come through this portal. Spirits come through your mind, right? So we're going to get into the main topic. I wanted to show y'all that to show where the spirit is. Okay, let's get the book of Tobit, and we're going to start at verse 3. The book of Tobit, and we're going to start at verse 3.
This is Tobit chapter 3 verse 1. Tobit chapter 3 verse 1. Then I began grieved, and then I being grieved.
Start at verse 7. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. This is Tobit 3 verse 7. And it came to pass the same day that Ecbatan, a city of Media, Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, was also reproached by her father's maids.
So, read that for me one more time. I wanted to pull this up.
This is Tobit chapter 3 verse 7. And it came to pass the same day that in Ecbatan, a city of Media, Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, was also reproached by her father's maids.
So Sarah was reproached. She was being talked down to. She was being talked against by her father's maids. Her father's 7 maids, I believe, it was 7, maybe 8. But Sarah was being dissed. She was being ragged. She was being ridiculed. She was being scorned by her father's maids. Now let's find out a little bit more what his maids are talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Because that she had been married to 7 husbands.
Okay.
Whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit,
have killed. Now, in the Bible, you don't find in the KJV demons, right? We don't find demons, but I want to go ahead and read. Salakia. I want to go ahead and read this Britannica definition of demons. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let you read it down to where it says person's character.
Demons. The term demon is derived from the Greek word daimion, which means supernatural, being, or spirit. Though it has commonly been associated with an evil or malevolent spirit, the term originally meant a spiritual being that influenced a person's character.
Right. So they're saying that demon is a spirit, and that's a new term. It's not in the KJV Bible. So anytime we hear demons, that's something it's a new term. So it's anytime that you hear of a spirit or a demon, like you always hear devil, Satan, or evil spirit. So you don't ever hear demon when it comes to the KJV Bible. Now there might be other different Bibles that you hear the word demon, but in the KJV you do not find that word. Right. So it mentioned also Asmodeus. So I want to read a little bit about Asmodeus in the Bible. Go ahead and start here.
The Asmodeus of the book of Tobit is hostile to Sarah.
He's hostile to Sarah. Go ahead.
Raguel's daughter. And slays 7 successive husbands on their wedding nights, impeding the sexual consummation of the marriages. In the New Jerusalem Bible translation, he is described as the worst of demons.
So a lot of what you're going to come to find out in the book of Tobit, this demon Asmodeus is always linked with sexual lust, right? That's what this demon is always linked with. Now, on other translations and other definitions I'm going to pull out, you also see jealousy with it too. So Asmodeus is in the book of Tobit is a very powerful demon. So go ahead, keep reading.
It says, in the New Jerusalem Bible translation, he is described as the worst of demons. When the young Tobias was about to marry her, Asmodeus proposes the same fate for him, but Tobias is enabled through the counsels of his attendant angel Raphael to render him unconscious by placing his fish hearts and liver on red hot cedars. Tobias proceeds a smoky vapor that causes the demon to flee to Egypt, where Raphael binds him, according to some translations. Asmodeus is strangled.
God. So we see Asmodeus and the angel Raphael is letting Tobit know what type of things to get out of this fish, heart, liver, and I believe it was the gallbladder to get this demon away from Sarah. So this is some things we're going to touch on. We're going to read in the scriptures as well. Did you have a point?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Just as something physical was able to get that demon away, think about what also physical that brings demons in that you do.
So Lord willing, we're going to get into it, y'all. It's going to be a pretty heavy class. We're going to get into it to show y'all how demons actually fall in love or can fall in love with you, you know, based off of what you do, right? So let's get this for Asmodeus, the demon.
Right. Asmodeus, it says Asmedia. It says the demon of lust, the third of the deadly sins, and of jealousy, anger, and revenge, and the 32nd of the 72 spirits of Solomon. Asmodeus' chief objectives are to prevent intercourse between husbands and wife, wreck new marriages, and force husbands to commit adultery. He is also one of the chief demons involved in the case of possession throughout history. He has been regarded as one of the most evil of Satan's infernal demons. He is usually portrayed as having 3 heads, those of an orc, a ram, and a bull. All sexual lasciviousness creatures having the feet of a cock, other sexual aggressive creatures having wings of the tail of a serpent.
So this is the description they're trying to give this demon. Don't know how they know all of this. We don't see this in the Bible anywhere, but they do go into how, you know, the book of Tobit when it comes to Asmodeus, the demon, and we're going to touch on that just a little bit right here when it talks about the book of Tobit.
The book of Tobit tells how Asmodeus lusted after a young woman named Sarah and killed each of her 7 husbands before the marriages could be consummated. Mm-hmm. With an 8th suitor, Tobias, in her life, Sarah prayed to God for help. God sent down the archangel Raphael, who instructed Tobias how to make an incense of the heart and liver of a gluttonous fish, which would drive away Asmodeus. After Tobias and Terah were married, Asmodeus appeared with their wedding chamber to kill Tobias, but the incense forced him to flee.
So we're going to get back to the scriptures in the book of Tobit, where we're going to go into a lot of the things that we just seen here, but give it a little bit more understanding how these demons can lock onto you and fall in love with you. So let's get back to the book of Tobit, chapter 3. And I believe you left off at verse 9.
This is Tobias, chapter 3, verse 9. Wherefore dost thou beat us for them? If they be dead, go thy ways after them. Let us never see thee either son or daughter.
Right. So again, these are these 7 servants of her father talking against Sarah. Like they hate her. They don't like her. So they're just like, why don't you just go kill yourself kind of attitude, right? Jump down to verse 11.
It says, verse 11, then she prayed towards the window and said, blessed art thou, O Lord my God, and thy holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever.
Keep going.
And now, O Lord, I set my eyes and face towards thee, and say, take me out of the earth, that I may hear no more the reproach.
Mm-hmm.
Thou knowest, Lord, that I am pure from all sin with men,
right,
and that I neither polluted my name nor the name of my father in the land of my captivity.
So she's saying, take me out of the earth, because she's tired of hearing how bad, how much these girls are getting at her, how much these women are dogging her out. She's like, please just take me out, just, kill me. But we're going to find out that she actually has a purpose, and the Most High God is going to show his mercy to her. Go ahead and read verse 14 again.
Thou knowest, Lord, that I am pure from all sin with men.
Now, she says she's pure with all sins of men. Now, keep in mind, she had 7 husbands. Go ahead.
And that I never polluted my name, nor the name of my father.
So she never polluted her name. She never went against the traditions. She never went against the law. She never polluted her name or her father's. Go ahead.
It says, in the land of my captivity, I am the daughter of my father. Neither hath he any child to be his heir,
Right.
neither any near kinsman, nor any son of his alive, to whom I may keep myself for a wife.
So she's trying to keep herself pure because her father doesn't have any sons. Because a son is supposed to carry the name of the father. She's keeping herself pure for her father's reputation, and she's making sure that her name has a good reputation. Go ahead.
It says, I may keep myself for a wife. My 7 husbands are already dead. And why should I live? But if it please not thee that I should die, command some regard to be had of me, and pity taken of me.
Right. So if you have mercy, if you see it fit for me to be still living, even though they're telling me, might as well go ahead and kill myself. But if you see it fit for me, please have mercy on me. Right. Go ahead.
It says that I hear no more reproach. So the prayers of them both were heard before the majesty of the great God.
Jump to the verse, Salakia.
17.
Yes, sir. You're already here. Go ahead.
It says, and Raphael was sent to heal them both. That is, to scale away the witness of Tobias' eyes, the whiteness of Tobias' eyes, and to give Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, for a wife to Tobias.
So check that out. Verse 17, Raphael was sent to heal both Sarah and Tobit, right? He was sent to heal both of them, and he's going to do that, what he was sent for. Go ahead.
It says, and bind Asmodeus the evil spirit, because she belonged to Tobias by right of inheritance.
So there you go. It says Asmodeus the evil spirit. It did not say Asmodeus was a demon. Now we just read the demon, when we just read, it talks about it being an evil spirit. So how did they get demon into the Bible, or how did they get demon mixed up with the evil spirit? That I don't know, but it's not found again in the KJV. So in the KJV, what do we see? We see evil spirits. We also see angels. Those are the things that we see. So Asmodeus, the evil spirit. I think I have one more that I wanted to touch on with Asmodeus. I think it was in the I know it talked about it. It's saying, so right here, let me let y'all see this. Hopefully y'all can see that, right? Okay. So right here is saying, it says, Asmodeus, he is the king of Selma, or Shedmai. Help me out, brother.
Shedem.
Shedem. Okay. Shedem, the spirit or demons in the Talmud. Tanakh. Jewish myth. Right. So it's lucky. So it's not a myth, right? Even though they try to make it out to be a myth. And that's something that I wanted to touch on. These things are real. These spirits are real. And we're going to show how real these spirits are. So this is probably a good opportunity, a good time to get into one of this video that I wanted to show y'all as well. But before we jumped into the video, I got to read the fair use on YouTube, right? Fair use. So, Lakia, let me show it. Read that for me, King.
Fair use on YouTube. Fair use is a legal doctrine that says use of copyright protected material under certain circumstances is allowed without permission from the copyright holder.
So I want to make sure we get that in there so they don't try to, flag us or do something silly. But I wanted to touch on some stuff and show y'all how real these spirits are. Now, I've only heard a little bit about this lady that we're getting ready to see. I don't know any of her music. I don't know her like that, but I want y'all to see this video. That's K. Michelle, right? I think that's who that is, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Make sure y'all can see the same thing we can see. And I want y'all to hear what she's got to say. So like this. Okay. All right.
I don't know how I was set up to be this involved with the spiritual world. So for one, like the apartment I grew up in had a lot of paranormal activity. When I go to sleep at night, if I'm not sleeping next to somebody, I have to play gospel. I have to play gospel music.
To this day?
To this day,
Wow.
or I'll get attacked. Like that sleep paralysis, like I'll get that. But I get that every time if I don't play gospel music when I sleep.
That's wow. So you always got to make sure it rolled, whatever. Like for you,
if I'm by myself, yes, I have to play it because I'll get like I don't know what that's called, and I got to do more research.
Right.
But
and when you say attack, Saweetie, what do you mean?
Like in my dream,
right?
Like you know, you can't wake up, and you feel like somebody's sitting on top of you.
Yes, man.
Like it's real, and especially when I started like meditating more, I feel like the stronger I became spiritually, the more I started getting attacked. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like these experiences have always happened to me, like since.
So she's getting spiritually attacked by spirits, right? And a lot of us have experienced that. I remember doing a lesson on sleep paralysis when I first came into this truth and started making videos because it definitely happened to me. Just to be transparent with brothers and sisters, that it can happen to anybody, you know. And you get this experience to where you're sleeping, and then you're paralyzed. Sleep paralysis. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and read a little bit about it. Sleep paralysis. Let's go ahead and read a little bit about. Let's just read this first paragraph right here.
It says sleep paralysis is a state during waking up or falling asleep in which a person is conscious but in a complete state of full body paralysis.
So they said waking up or falling asleep. That is the state. Now I experienced it. Yes, that right there too was during sleeping and waking up. I experienced that, and I also experienced it being awake, being fully awake. Like my body just felt like it was going to just fall limp. Like I felt that spirit right there next to me, right? So, or right on me. So this spirit, that is a real demon, man. That's a real spirit. This is not a game to where you can't move, you can't talk. Only thing you can do is blink. You might be able to make some kind of sound, but you can't make no words. You can't make any words with that. But go ahead and finish that.
It says, during an episode, the person may hallucinate, hear, feel, or see things that are not there, which often results in fear. Episodes generally last no more than a few minutes. It can recur multiple times or occurrences in a single episode.
Right. So they're saying it's a hallucinant, right? But this is a real spirit. This is a real thing.
It's a real demon. That's
a real demon. You can touch it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can feel it.
Yep.
So and it touch you.
Yep.
So and a lot of times, I ain't gonna say all the times, but a lot of times it comes with sexual dreams or sexual. You know how men will say that they have a wet dream. I don't know if women actually do, but I know for sure, you know, men be having wet dreams, and that can be that spirit as well because it deals with lust, right? So some people it happens to heavier degrees than others. Let's see here. So yeah, sleep paralysis. I definitely had another video, but I wanted to show this video too when it comes to sexual immorality, how bad it can get.
Copyright thing.
What are you talking about?
The copyright video. We should do it again.
Do it again?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm not going to play it just yet, but whenever I do, try to remind me, please. All right.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. All right. So let's get back into the book of Tobit. Tobit chapter 17, and you were like in the middle of, I don't know if you finished 17 or not. 3 to 17.
I'll just start at the top.
Go ahead.
Tobit chapter 3, verse 17. And Raphael was sent to heal them both, that is, to scale away the whiteness of Tobit's eyes, and to give Sarah the daughter of Raguel for a wife to Tobias, the son of Tobit. and to bind Asmodeus, the evil spirit, because she belonged to Tobias by right of inheritance. The self same time came Tobit home and entered into the house, and Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, came down from her upper chamber.
Let's go to the book of Tobit, chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. But I wanted to pull that out, Slakia, just to show how Asmodeus was called an evil spirit. An evil spirit. And that is a real spirit. You do not want to play games with that. You got to be careful on what you see and what you do. So this is going into lust, pornography, anything dealing with lust or sexual activities, men and women, because you also have what you call incubus and succubus. Those are real demons. A lot of people talk about those spirits. I said demons, but a lot of people talk about those spirits. And those spirits are created for a reason. So let's go to the book of Tobit, chapter 6, and go ahead in verse 1.
It's Tobit chapter 6, verse 1. And as they went to their journey, they came into the evening to the river Tigris, and they lodged there. And when the young man went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the river and would have devoured him. And the angel said unto him, take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to the land.
So remember, we had read about how angel Raphael would have to, his assignment was to take the fish and to heal Tobit and, save the girl, pretty much, save Sarah. So let me get that again. Where was that? You remember where that was? Did you read that at?
Tobit 6 and 2.
No, this is like right. It was right.
The place fishing fish heart and liver and red sea.
Yeah, the placing of fish's heart and liver. Oh, I can't. Let me see. By placing a fish's heart and liver on red hot cinders, right? So this is what the angel was doing. It was like a barbecue, right? So this is what we're getting into right now. Okay. How the angel, as a matter of fact, I wanted to go up a little bit more to show the assignment of the angel. What was that? Do you remember what it was?
It was Tobias produced a smoky vapor that caused the demon to flee.
Okay. Through the counsel of his attention. Hold on. No, that's not it. Salakia, that's not it. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to get back to the story. Tobit chapter 6. And where you left off, King?
Verse 2. And when the young men went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the river and would have devoured him.
Uh-huh.
And the angel said unto him, take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to land. To whom the angel said, open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall and put them up safely. So the young man did as the angel commanded him. And when they had roasted a fire, they did eat it.
So we just read about that. The angels, they're roasting the fish over the fire, and they got the lungs, they got the liver, they got the heart and the gall, right? Gallbladder. Some people believe that's the gallbladder. But go ahead.
Then they both went on their way till they drew near to Ecbaton. Then the young man said to the angel,
what verse you in?
Verse 5 at the end.
Go ahead.
It says, then they both went their way till they drew near to Ecbaton. Then the young man said to the angel, brother Azarias, to what use is the heart and the liver and the gall of the fish?
So Tobias is asking Raphael, why do I need this? What use is it? What use is this heart, this liver, and this gall? Go ahead.
Verse 6 or verse 7. And he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed.
Right. So they're going to burn it, they're going to smoke it, and it's going to take care of the evil spirit that is around this woman. Now make note that they didn't tell you what the fish was called. They didn't tell you that, right? Because that's not how we fight. We don't fight this way no more. We have Christ. We have Christ to fight. So we don't fight by using the fish and the gallbladder we don't do that. People would be doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like we would be going to go to the lake to try to find this fish. You know, people would be doing that. But we have Christ. So go ahead and finish that out, verse 8.
Verse 8. As for the gall, it is good to anoint a man that hath witnessed his eyes, and he shall be.
So the gallbladder was for his father. The gallbladder was for his father. Let's go to the book of Ephesians chapter 6. The book of Ephesians chapter 6, and I wanted to touch on a little bit of how we fight. And start at verse 10 for me, King. Start at verse 10, 6 and 10.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might.
Okay. We're supposed to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Go ahead.
Put the whole armor of God, that ye are able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
The wiles of the devil, the tricks of the devil. We got to put on the whole armor. We can't just put on the helmet, right? We'll be looking crazy if you just walked around with a helmet on and not the whole armor. You got to have the whole armor of God on. Go ahead.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
And this is what they're fighting against, the spiritual wickedness that's around Sarah. Sarah has a spirit that's around her that they're trying to fight, that they're going to fight off. Where are you at?
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
Now verse 13. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, having done all to stand.
God, that's pretty much all I want on that. Let's go back to the book of Tobit, chapter 6 and verse 13, because I wanted to get to the point of this lesson, which is how demons can fall in love with you, or evil spirits can fall in love with you. Go ahead.
This is Tobit chapter 6, verse 13. Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, that this maid had been given to 7 men, who all died in the marriage chamber. And now I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid lest if I go unto her, I die, as others before. For a wicked spirit loveth her.
What is it?
For a wicked spirit loveth her.
So Tobias said that he's afraid to go into her because a wicked spirit loveth her. So he knows that this wicked and evil spirit is in love with Sarah. But Raphael is there to take that spirit away. But spirits can love you. Spirits can fall in love with you. And we got to be careful. So, and this is a sexual demon. Because we read how Asmodeus, how he goes into lust and he goes into sexual, he's a sexual demon. So I wanted to touch a little bit on, you know what I'm saying, this video right here, just to show you how bad it can get. We got to get the Fair Use Act. And read that for me again.
Fair use on YouTube. Fair use is a legal doctrine that says use of copyright protected material under certain circumstance is allowed without permission from the copyright owner.
So we got to get this video. We got to play this video because this is how bad it can get. This is how bad being too highly sexually active and not being able to control your lust, how bad it can get for you. Like you begin to get numb by a woman's beauty. Like that doesn't do it for you no more, right? And we touched on this before, but I want y'all to see this video. So it says stories of NBA players' weird fetishes. So I'm gonna rewind it just again one more time. I want y'all to hear this. So these guys get into intense fetishes because they can't get off with normal things no more. They can't get aroused. No, that's an issue, and that's a real situation. That's a real man. I played this whole video and they couldn't even see it. We're gonna play it again. We're gonna play it again. All right, Salakia. Golly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, it's two of us too, man. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't see that.
That's both of our faults, bro. We're gonna go through the video.
Hopefully
again.
they heard it at least.
Yeah, hopefully you heard it, but we're gonna let you see it again. You know what I'm saying?
Intense fetishes because they can't like get off to normal things anymore. Like I've met guys who like being peed on, who buy cookies with poop in them off the internet and watch girls pooping.
And this happens in the NBA. Like I hear wild stories about some of these dudes, but like you said,
oh, trust me.
Be a straight man, but they've done so much stuff with so many pretty girls, and they have so much access to pretty girls that, you know, now they're over here messing with trannies, or now they're over here messing with dudes, and it's like, it's crazy to think about.
And that's a real thing, man. You get to you know, sexually active to where you don't have no limits, no boundaries. They eating cookies with poop in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what else they're doing, man? Who knows what else? But he said trainees, dudes, like nothing's off limits, man, because you can't get aroused by normal things no more. That's a real situation. That's a real deal. That's a real thing, man. So this is that spirit that's linked up with Sarah in the book of Tobit, right? This same demon, man. Salakia, let me get back to it. But these wicked and evil spirits can fall in love with us. And you got to keep the whole armor of God on you. You got to keep the whole armor of God, and you got to be aware of the wiles of the devil, because he will steal, kill, and destroy your body and soul, man, to where you can't get aroused by a woman that you're naturally attracted to. You're naturally attracted to her, but you can't even get sexually aroused. You can't even perform a duty of a husband to your wife. That's a serious situation, right? Because this wicked demon, and because we allowed ourselves to be overtaken by these demons and these evil spirits. The Most High God always makes a way for us. He always makes a way for us. But let's read Tobit chapter 6 verse 14 again.
This is Tobit chapter 6 verse 14. And now I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid, lest if I go unto her, I die, as others before. For a wicked spirit loveth her, which hurteth no body but those which come unto her. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and bring my father's and my mother's life because of me to the grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them.
Right. Go to the book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 43. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 43. So a wicked spirit, Tobias found out that there's a wicked spirit that fell in love with Sarah. There was a wicked spirit that fell in love with her. Right. And he's afraid of his life because he heard what happened to the 7 other men before him.
This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places seeking rest, and findeth none. And when he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out, and when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they entered in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first.
And this is the video we just seen. We just seen where the spirit goes out of a man, and then he comes back and brings 7 other demons, or 7 other spirits, wicked spirits, worse than the first one. Right? You might start off with something like, I don't know, some kind of something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something small, kind of
anime.
Okay, yeah, we start off with anime, and then it ends up being worse than the first one. You end up, you know.
Nah, you start looking up anime pictures of your favorite character, right? That's on your anime show, right? And then 2 years later, you become a damn furry, and and now you in them costumes, and now you acting like an animal,
yeah,
bro.
You acting like an animal. Now you want to identify as a cat or a dog or something.
Now you some weird.
You don't want to even be called by your real name. You don't want to be called by you spending nights in the doghouse. You know what I'm saying? Because you believe that you're a real dog. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real situation, and we see how crazy it can get in this world. It can get bad, man. So these spirits have left and came back with more wicked spirits worse than the first. I want you to get 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 20 because it talks about the same thing. But there's a point that I wanted to get on verse Okay, I'm gonna read this Matthew. While you get that, I'm gonna get Matthew chapter 7 and verse 44. I'm sorry, Matthew chapter 12 and verse 44. It says, when he saith, I will return into my house. That demon, his house is you. If you're not careful, his house is you. And he said, that's my house. He made it his. He made it enduring. He made it personal. He says, then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. If you're not careful, the demons fall in love with you, man. And they claim you. And they say, that is mine. That is my man. That is my house. That's my dude, right? Or my woman. They claim you, man. So this is just a little insight on how demons operate. So go ahead with 2 Peter chapter 2.
It's 2 Peter 2 and 20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord's and Savior, Hamashiach Yahushua, they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse than them than the beginning.
Right. So the latter end is worse than them that are in the beginning.
With them in the beginning.
Sorry. Right. So if you can't come out of her, like it talks about, if you can't escape the walls of the devil, you're going to be entangled with these demons that are worse than the ones that you have before. Right. It says, and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than the beginning. So you're going to have demons attached to you worse than the ones that you originally had. And you're not going to know what to do, man. You're not going to know what to do, right? They got people falling in love with trees and falling in love with roller coasters, marrying cars and stuff. It's crazy, man. It's insane. These spirits get bad, man, and they get in these people and they get to acting all kinds of weird and crazy. So we got to be aware of how they roll and how they operate. People start wanting to eat poop cookies because they can't get off with, you know what I'm saying? Man, come on now. It gets bad, man. You heard what she said. You heard the fetish of the NBA, how it go. And it ain't just NBA. It's more than that. It go deeper than that. Some of these boxers, some of these NFL players, these rappers, we already know about that. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta understand these tricks. We gotta understand how these demons operate. They say knowledge is power, right? Wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of our time. So we got to understand on how these demons really operate. Let's go back to the book of Tobit. We're going to finish this off. Tobit chapter 6. I got two more. Tobit chapter 6 and verse 16 through 17. And then we're going to jump to Job chapter 4. Tobit chapter 6, 16 through 17. And we're going to, because Raphael's mission was to heal Tobit and save Sarah, right? To get that demon away from Sarah. So let's find out how it went.
This is Tobit, chapter 6, verse 16. And when thou shalt come into the marriage chamber, thou shalt take the ashes of perfume, and shalt lay upon them some of the heart and liver of the fish, and shall make smoke with it. And the devil shall smell it and flee away, and never come again anymore.
So we saw that the Bible didn't call Asmodeus a demon. It called him a devil or an evil spirit. Those are the two things it called. But here, Raphael gave Tobias an assignment on how he is to get rid of that demon. Slakia, that devil. Why keep saying demon?
No,
so used to saying it, you know what I'm saying, being here in America. But we learning through the scriptures. We learning how to call them correctly and knowing how to defeat these evil and wicked spirits. Go ahead, though.
It says, and the devil shall smell it and flee away and never come anymore.
And never come anymore. Go ahead.
But when thou shalt come to her, rise up both of you and pray to the God which is merciful, who will have pity on you and save you.
Mm-hmm.
Fear not, for she is appointed unto thee from the beginning, and thou art preserve her, and thou shalt preserve her, and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose she shall bear thee children. Now, when Tobias had heard these things, he loved her, and his heart was affectionately joined to her.
Now we're going to get one more example real quick in the book of Job, chapter 4. And we're going to read another example on how these spirits work and what they do, right? There's many, many more. Wisdom of Solomon. I'm not going to pull those out. Lord willing, I'm able to make another video just to show us how these demons fall in love with us and how they can attach themselves to you. And they are personalized to you. They're assigned to you. They said, this is my house, right? They're proud to call you their own. They love you, right? Whenever they love that you love wickedness. They love that. And they attach themselves to you. So this is something that I want us to be mindful of and knowing how to fight against it. We got to put on the whole armor of God. Let's get that book of Job, chapter 4 and verse 13. We're going to get right to it. Job, chapter 4, 13.
This is Job, chapter 4, verse 13.
We're going to read down to 17.
Yes, sir. And thoughts from the visions of the night when deep sleep falleth on men.
So remember when we read about sleep paralysis says it happens in the wake. It says, get back to it. Sleep paralysis is a state during waking up or falling asleep. During waking up or falling asleep. But again, there's other scriptures in the Bible that show that it can happen when you're awake too. But like I said, Lord willing, I'll be able to bring that out and touch on that next time. But again, sleep paralysis is a state during waking up or falling asleep. So read that again for me, King.
It says,
13.
Verse 13. And thoughts from the visions of the night when deep sleep falleth on men.
When deep sleep falleth upon man, go ahead.
Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake.
Because when this demon gets on you, you become afraid because you can't move. It's sleep paralysis. You can't move. You're paralyzed, and you don't know why you can't move. You can only blink, and you might be able to make some sounds, but you cannot move. Hold on, I think there was something on this real quick. It says, for the normal sleep behavior of sleep paralysis during dreams, see rapid eye movements, sleep, night demons, render us here, America heavy band. Okay, so again, these demons, especially this specific one, it attaches to you when you're asleep, and it can even attack you in your dreams. It can attack you when you're awake, right? But we see here in the book of Job, it says, and the thoughts from the visions of night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, fear came upon me and trembling, because you think that you're about to die. There's so many thoughts that go through your head. If you wake up paralyzed, can you imagine what thoughts you're thinking? You wake up paralyzed. You wake up and you cannot move. You can't move your head. You can't move your feet. You can't move your arms. You can't move your legs. You can't move nothing. You're paralyzed, right? I've heard of stories to where people was like, they got attacked. They got thrown on the couch and they couldn't move. It was like a hand went over their mouth. I've heard stories like that. And I'm talking about to where the story was it had just happened, and you hear like he breathing, oh, man, I can't believe, like while he was awake. That was a real demon, and it really happened. You know what I'm saying? So it can happen anytime, man. But keep going though. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Fear came upon me and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face. Mm-hmm. The hair of my flesh stood up.
And that's what happens. It said the spirit pass before my face, and you get weirded out because it's a real deal. It's a real situation. Go ahead.
It says, verse 16, it stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof.
They couldn't discern the form thereof. Some people say they think it's a woman. They think it's a woman at the door. You know what I'm saying? They think it's a man. There's been certain accounts to where people have actually died in that state, right? For the most part, I don't think that's a normal thing, but it can happen. That can happen to where people do die in that state of sleep paralysis. Go ahead.
And the image was before my eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, is that all?
Go ahead.
Verse 17. Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker?
Right. So this is the thing, and I always touch on because this is something that really helped me out when it came to sleep paralysis. Knowing and understanding what I'm going up against, right? Knowing that I have to understand that it says, shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? To me, that told me that I had pride in me, right? I had pride in me, and I needed to get that out. I need to be more humble. So I needed to make sure that I was humble, and I was always keeping these law, statutes, and commandments and having faith in Christ, because that was the only thing that saved me. That was the only thing that saved me. I'm not even joking. Man. I was afraid to be by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She's afraid to go to sleep without gospel music.
Yeah, she's afraid to go to sleep without gospel music. And she said it happened. She said it was worse for her when she started meditating, right? When she started meditating, she said it got worse for her. Let's play it again. Let's play it one more time. Wow, we ain't got nothing but time, right? All right, let's see. Let's go back to it. Make sure we share it. Turn it up.
I don't know how.
You want to read it?
No.
All right, go. There you go.
I don't know how I was set up to be this involved with the spiritual world. So for one, like the apartment I grew up in had a lot of paranormal activity. When I go to sleep at night, if I'm not sleeping next to somebody, I have to play gospel music.
To this day?
To this day,
wow.
Or I'll get attacked. Like that sleep paralysis, like I'll get that. But I get that every time if I don't play gospel music when I sleep.
That's wow. So you always got to make sure it rolled, whatever. Like for you,
if I'm by myself, yes, I have to play it because I'll get it. Like I don't know what that's called, and I got to do more research.
Right.
But
and when you say attack, Saweetie, what do you mean?
Like in my dream,
right?
Like you know, you can't wake up, and you feel like somebody's sitting on top of you.
Yes, man.
So we read all of that. We read it in the Bible. Right. We read it in the Wikipedia. The Bible talked about in the book of Job, where he had fear. All of this is real, man. It's in the Bible, man. It's in the Bible, and they recorded it in Wikipedia. So I mean, they got it on all angles, and you got people making videos on this. So I don't know how people may think that it's not real, but this is real, man. This is a real situation. Take it from me. I want to go back a little bit, but I want to
paralysis. Like I'll get that. But I get that every time if I don't play gospel music when I sleep.
That's wow. So you always got to make sure it rolled, whatever. Like for you,
if I'm by myself, yes, I have to play it because I'll get it. Like I don't know what that's called, and I got to do more research.
Right.
But
and when you say attack, Saweetie, what do you mean?
Like in my dream,
right?
Like you know, you can't wake up, and you feel like somebody's sitting on top of you.
Yes, man.
Like it's real, and especially when I started like meditating more, I feel like the stronger I became spiritually, the more I started getting attacked.
Hey, and she right. The stronger she became spiritual, because if you biblical, your spirituality is found in the book, in the Bible, in the law, in Christ. That's your spirituality. Now, I don't know what she's talking about, spirituality. She's probably talking about meditating on, you know, I mean, what's that symbol with the blue eye and the necklace? She probably doing some of that stuff. Yeah. I don't know, but there's no way you can meditate on these laws, statutes, and commandments and having faith in the Christ and you still being, and it becoming stronger. She was doing some form of witchcraft or something. There's no way, man. She said the spirituality is, she said it became stronger. That's right. She was doing something different.
The stronger I became spiritually, the more I started getting attacked.
That actually is a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because what spirituality are you doing?
Mm-hmm. And that's the way the world is going. A lot of people are saying they're spiritual. They're spiritual. Yeah. But we know what spiritual is. Spiritual is the law. It's not what they're considering the law. That's witchcraft.
I felt like the stronger I became spiritually, the more I started getting attacked.
Yeah.
And like these experiences have always happened to me, like since.
So she going the wrong way. She going the wrong way. She thinking that spiritual is the way to go, but she going in the opposite way that she needs to be going.
Right.
Right. But yeah, we got to come back to these law, statutes, commandments, having faith in Christ. Man, that's our only hope, man. So Lord willing, brothers and sisters, learn something from this, glean something from it, got some understanding, and I hope and I pray that brothers and sisters repent and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments and having faith in his son, because that is the only way, man. That really is, like I said, personally. And she said that in her apartment, she talked about how there was a lot of spiritual attacks in that apartment. Man, maybe one time I might have my brother come on here and we talk about the spiritual attacks that we went through. I'm always telling Zion how the stuff that we had when going through. Right. It's crazy, man. I'm talking about being picked up and thrown into a wall crazy, man, by something that you can't see. You know what I'm saying? So that's those. Hey, the things that are invisible are real. These spirits are real. These spirits are real, man. So Lord willing, like I said, brothers and sisters, learn something from this. They got some edification and repent. Come back to these law, statutes, commandments. Change. Stay away from that witchcraft because it's gonna get worse. Don't be leaving no fruit out for the dead. Don't be wearing those symbols from, you know what I'm saying, witchcraft, and you get, man, all of this weird, wicked stuff, man. Don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into those lies, man. So Lord willing, again, y'all learn something, glean something from it. And we give all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua, Shalom.